Hello, everyone. This is Devin Thorpe for Your Mark on the World, and we have with us one of Utah's power players in the venture capital community, one of Utah's longest tenured and remarkably young, socially minded venture capitalists, Todd Stevens, the co-founder and managing director of Renewable Tech Ventures. Todd, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Devin. It's a pleasure being with you.
It's Todd. I have had the pleasure of knowing you now for a long time. It's not. It won't be too long until we can honestly say it's been decades. But it's been fun to watch your career. You're now leading this Renewable Tech Ventures, and you're focused on just that, renewable technology. Tell us a little bit about the kinds of things you're doing. What are you investing in?
Yeah, Renewable Tech Ventures is a new fund. I've been in the venture business about 20 years, and as you say, I've known Devin for a long time as he was in his career in the finance world. And Renewable Tech Ventures is focusing on clean technologies and renewable energy. A lot of what we find here in Utah is really based more on the clean technology side than the renewable energy side. We have an office in Alberta, Canada, and we're really focused on the Rocky Mountain region in Canada and the US. So we have not done investing in, for example, in PV solar or in biofuels, or a lot of areas that a lot of the large clean tech funds invest in. But we found a lot of interesting energy efficiency technologies, green building construction and green construction type of opportunities, and advanced materials investment opportunities. So those are the type of deals we've been looking at and finding a lot of very interesting entrepreneurs, interesting ideas in this region.
What are some examples of some of the things that you've backed?
Well, in anticipating this call, I thought that it would be helpful to maybe give an example of one of the companies we've invested in that I think not only has great economic upside, but has kind of the double bottom line that a lot of socially conscious investors are looking for, that we think will have a huge impact on the environment and the world around us. It's a company based here in Provo, Utah, called Solid Carbon Products, and they have come up with a technology that I think is very innovative and has basically will take carbon sequestration to the next step, the next level. What their technology does basically is it can take CO2, carbon dioxide, and combine that through a catalytic process with methane or with hydrogen, and produce carbon nanotubes and water as their products.
Wow.
And carbon nanotubes are interesting in their applications. Carbon nanotubes are the strongest element in the periodic table, or strongest element in Earth, but also has some really interesting properties with connectivity, with being able to hold and resist heat, as well as being electrically having connectivity that way. So we think that the byproducts, the carbon nanotubes, are very valuable. Right now they are sold just in very small quantities because there's not a large production of that, but it's sold basically in the $90,000 a ton kind of range. And this process, using the technology they've developed, we think we can manufacture and sell for much reduced prices. But the exciting part of that is scaling that up into larger plants, larger production, where we can basically take sequestered CO2 and put it through this technology and be able to have valuable byproducts that instead of having companies view being environmentally friendly as a cost center, this could turn out to be a great profit center for utilities and other large chemical companies.
Just totally changes the game on the creation of carbon. I'd heard that there were people out there thinking about how to do this, and it's fascinated me with this question, and it's exciting to hear that it's happening right here in my own backyard. I wouldn't have guessed it was going on.
It is. It's really exciting. They have their first kind of pilot scale 2-ton-a-month plant up and operating. We're just now getting ready to go to the next kind of scale to a 20-ton-a-month, and then beyond that we have strategic partners that are interested in doing huge scale projects that would take thousands of tons of CO2 from gas processing plants or coal-fired power plants.
Sure.
They have sequestered CO2 and basically be able to have a great byproduct for the environment. So,
where is the CO2 for the pilot project coming from?
We're just buying it from commercial gas sources, so from the Linde and Air Liquide folks of the world that have that sell CO2. So, but we have a lot of interest from strategic partners of being able to use that technology in, for example, a coal-fired power plant.
Sure.
That they spent billions of dollars getting the CO2 sequestered, but they don't have the environmental permits to put it underground or to do anything with it. So this is a perfect thing to take that CO2 stream and put it into our process and have a good result for everybody.
Well, that would, at scale, that would have a huge impact on our environment over the next 30 years, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we think so. And so that's one that I think is a perfect example of those investors who are looking for double bottom line kind of impact, not only having a huge economic benefit and potential upside, but also from doing the world good and an environmental standpoint has a huge impact at a utility scale or at a sequestration scale.
Yeah. What's the name of the company again?
Solid Carbon Products.
Solid Carbon Products.
Right.
That's
and they're based down in Provo. We've made a substantial investment from our fund, and we have some other co-investors with us in the deal, and we're very excited about it. That's one that we're hopeful will not only be great for our investors, but great for the world.
Where did the technology for that project come from? Did that come out of BYU by any chance? I just, located in Provo. I assume that's a university technology at some point in the recent history.
Yeah, it's interesting. The inventor of this had a son that joined the military, and he was very concerned about his safety when he was on a tour in Iraq, and he started thinking about how can we get better armor and better protection for our soldiers. And as he was doing research, he saw carbon nanotubes, and he saw that there had been lots of research and that everyone knew that if you could do armor out of carbon nanotubes that are much lighter, stronger material than anything out there, that this would be the right way to go, but it's just too expensive to produce them. So he started thinking about other ways of approaching it, and their base patent just issued a couple months ago, and he has 20 plus additional patents that are following on this technology. That I think he's found a way to make carbon nanotubes more at a carbon black scale as far as pricing and quantities than what their competitors have, and at that kind of quantity and pricing, we really could see carbon nanotubes being used as in steel mixtures and putting that in with potentially armor and a lot of industrial applications that would be comparable to maybe less price than aluminum and some of the other alloys that are mixed with steel now. So
Yeah, so is it the kind of thing that could be used in, I imagine when you say nanotubes, I'm thinking this is a lightweight construction material that would work well for airplane manufacture, bicycle frames, and that kind of stuff.
Exactly, and as you know, all the aircraft manufacturers are moving to carbon. They're doing fuselages in with carbon fiber winders and using carbon as the choice because of the strength and the lightweight characteristics of it.
Of
So
course, people
using
are beginning to think about carbon as material for building the frames of cars and the
yeah,
bodies of cars, right?
yeah, exactly. So that's the kind of potential if we can get the process scaled correctly and have the pricing for carbon nanotubes come down to a point where it could be added to steel and rolled with large industrial applications. It could be a huge market for the company and for this technology. So.
Wow, that's very, very exciting. Very exciting. Do you have anything else you want to brag about, or?
Well, we've got several other great companies. One that I'll just mention is a company that we're very excited about. That's in the green building material products, and they're basically came up with a new technology to replace gypsum in wallboard. And originally their technology was using cenospheres, which cenospheres with a binding agent that is a byproduct from coal ash. So when coal-fired power plants have their ash, part of that ash stream is cenospheres, but they've actually now, and they have patents on that, but they've also expanded their patent portfolio to using perlite, which is another less expensive additive that we think that we can do the wallboard at prices that are very competitive with gypsum drywall, but has the advantage of having much better thermal properties as far as being able to have an R factor of a 15 or 16 as opposed to drywall now, which is a 8 or 10.
Wow. So it's almost like an insulated wall. I mean, isn't like an R factor of 18? Isn't that usually kind of what you have in a house after you insert the insulation?
Yes, and it also has great soundproofing characteristics, and it doesn't break apart in water like gypsum does. There's a lot of really neat qualities to that, and we've been able to purchase some IP from competitors in this area, as well as some manufacturing capabilities. So we're in the process of getting some joint ventures with some strategic players in the industry to start manufacturing this, and we've already met with some of the lead thinkers in Leeds and some of the great green building thought leaders, and there's a lot of interest in this because this is one that if we're comparable in price with gypsum wallboard, but we're able to have a lot of the thermal and other qualities that this board would have. It could be a big saver for building construction as well. So
that's great. I mean, that could save tremendous amounts of money and energy over any reasonable span of time. So that's great. Well, Todd, you have a long history in venture capital. We've talked about that. What motivated your relatively recent shift to clean tech?
Well, it's interesting. There's if you look at a lot of the great clean tech entrepreneurs around the country, it's fascinating that I think a large number of those, or a large percentage of those entrepreneurs, come from an IT and software background. And I'm not sure if there's been a study made on this or if there's some linkage there, but my origins in venture capital was in the IT investing area. I was the founder of Wasatch Venture Fund, and we invested primarily in software and IT-related e-commerce companies in the 90s and early 2000s. And as I saw the ever-expanding IT horizon and with social media and everything that was going on, I really felt like I had a desire to look at opportunities that could solve some of the energy and environmental issues that the world was facing. Before I went into venture capital, I worked for a cogeneration independent power company and was familiar with the energy field somewhat, but I felt like there was a huge shift in the energy industry, and I thought that there was great opportunities, and I'm convinced that there continues to be great opportunities there, but I also am convinced that rather than building a great company in social media or in IT, that I could do better both for our investors but also for the world if we did some great things with clean technology. So that was kind of my thought behind it. A partner and I that were at Wasatch Venture Fund, or what's now Epic Ventures, stepped out of the fund and started Renewable Tech Ventures, and that's how we made that transition back in 2010, 2011.
Well, it's an exciting thing to see, and I'm glad that you've done this. I'm glad that you're having some success, and hope that you'll have some huge and profitable exits with these deals, because when you win, we all win. That's the great thing about what you're doing, is when you have a big financial success, you've done some real good in the world, and we appreciate you taking the time to help create those solutions to the problems we're living with every day.
Well, that's the hope. That's the idea. Hope we can do that.
So, Todd, I'm excited to have you come and speak at the Social Enterprise and Crowdfunding Conference on September 26th at Snowbird here in Utah. I think it's going to be a great event, and it'll be really fun to have you there and give you an opportunity to explain your strategy and to meet some people while you're there.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, Devin. I think everyone that attended the conference last year was very impressed with the conference you put together. It's fun to get together with like-minded folks who are trying to make the world a better place. And in my situation with investors that are looking for the double bottom line, looking for opportunities to not only have a good return for investors, but also make a mark on the world that helps it.
Well, I appreciate that, Todd, and we're looking forward to having you. Tell us, if you would, how people can get in touch with you and learn more about what you're doing. I'm sure that there are entrepreneurs who are listening to this who are thinking, I've got a great thing. How do I pitch Todd? What's the protocol for reaching you?
Very simple. Our web address is renewablevc.com. RenewableVC.com is also for all of our email contacts, so it's todd@renewablevc.com, or any of the folks that work with me. My partner up in Alberta is Dal Zemp, dal@renewablevc.com, so if there's any folks in Western Canada, they'd be glad to contact Dal. We're always looking for new ideas and talking with entrepreneurs, and even in situations where it's not a good fit for us, we try to help point them into funds or to folks that we know that would be interested in their technology or their company. So happy to visit with folks, and it's easy to get a hold of me on our website or through email.
Fantastic. Well, Todd, thank you very much for making time to be with us, and I hope you'll find lots of great investments.
Thank you, Devin. It's been a pleasure being with you.
All righty. Let's do some good.